What do you know? It's just my luck. I've already got a little bit of foundation issue after all the other foundation issues I've been dealing with in the house. This back corner has already cracked, disconnected basically. Oh, you can see it. There you go. This is the inside. On the outside, it's about the same amount. And it pretty much runs all the way down. You know, on the other side of this, it's probably about 7 blocks high. And slowly over time, it started just a real thin hairline crack, and it's starting to open up to like a 30 seconds maybe at the top, and it gets, you know, less as it goes down. And, you know, it's not super surprising because there's really no strength right there. You know, we've got concrete in this and rebar going down through it, but there's nothing helping it up and down. And I should have put those, I'm really not sure what they're called, but it almost looks like a ladder that goes in between the mortar joints. It's like thin wire, kind of like what goes in the concrete floor, and it just sits inside the mortar. And you do one like every other block, or you could do it every block, I guess, if you wanted. And that gives it reinforcement in this direction. Then you got your rebar going down through it, so it's strengthened in all directions. But without any steel in it in that direction, it's just concrete. And really right through there, it's just mortar and then a center block, mortar, center block. It's not even in the concrete. So and then that's the peak point of where all the stress is at on this wall with all this gravel backfilled on it. You know, again, that's the peak point. So it's no surprise of thinking on it that happened. And so I already started thinking a little bit ahead of what can be done here to try to strengthen it. For one thing, this seal plate is got everything connected now. And of course the studs and the framework and all this is, you know, holding all that back. So I'm hoping that it's just kind of cracked and it's starting to stretch that wood a little bit, and then it'll kind of stop it, you know. That in itself could happen. I went ahead and threw an extra board in here, put a few more nails in it, really kind of strengthen this up. So before it was just like 2 nails holding the whole thing together, and nails are strong, but you know what's going to happen with a whole wall pushing on it. So strengthen that up, and started thinking about these anchor bolts that I just got done putting in here. You know, I thought about this last weekend and had to get them on order quick and get them here because they're supposed to be pouring the concrete Monday. I actually found some, and hopefully that'll go smooth, but I didn't have much time to spare, so it's Friday right now. Just getting around to putting these in. Just got back from out of town and drilled these out. I haven't counted them. There's probably about 40, I'm going to say, all around through here. 1/2-inch anchor bolts, the wedge anchor types. The same type I used in the basement for those I-beams I put in. You know, you put them in, you tighten them up, and it squeezes those out into the concrete. So I drilled where there's concrete, you know, not in the dead center of the block, but where there's concrete on the inside. Back in there about 5 inches, put those in. I had to order these special. These are the longest 1/2-inch anchor bolts you can buy, and I wanted them as long as I could get so that it's in the concrete a good ways. I mean, ideally, it would be out here 5 feet connected into this concrete, but you know, this is as long as I could get. So what I'm planning on doing is each one, I'm going to cut out like a piece of 2-inch pipe, put on there. There'll be a nut and a washer that tightens it up real good, and then another nut out here on the end, and that'll give the concrete 2 places to lock into to pull on. And I might take some of this rebar, kind of like zip tie to it to even extend it out further, give it something else for the concrete to pull on. I mean, I may be overkilling it. It's just hard to say. I thought I was overkilling the wall by putting concrete and rebar in it, and that didn't work. I underkilled it, you know. So I'd rather overdo it at this point. And you know, the idea here is that once the concrete's locked in with all that, the wall can't go that way, it can't go this way, without pulling that entire concrete slab with it. And you know, that's pretty massive, I guess, relatively slab there. It just seems like it'd be impossible to pull it. And really the biggest thing is if it cracked the concrete all the way around through here and just pulled it separately. But we're gonna have that wire mesh in here too that will overlay right on top, right up against the wall. So it'd have to snap all that wire mesh, break the concrete out. I mean, it's probably never gonna happen, but I wouldn't mind having as much distance out from the anchor bolts as I could, just to be on the safe side. And anyway, it'll probably be just fine. You know, it's gonna be a pretty decent amount of support to something that didn't have any before at all. Of course, it's only been here a couple weeks and it's already cracked that much, so who knows. Another good thing too about it is it'll give the concrete something to kind of sit on. It'll kind of help it this way too. You know, this gravel in here is the gravel's not supposed to compact over time like dirt, you know, but all it takes is a 1/2 inch over 5 feet to settle, and all of a sudden there's no support under the concrete, and it's kind of just sinking with it. And I mean, not the end of the world. It could crack a little bit, and then you go to wash a car and some water runs back in here, and I mean, wouldn't be ideal, but I can't imagine it settling a lot like dirt would. But regardless, it'd be nice having a little support that keeps it locked into the wall back here. It's kind of a secondary benefit of it. But anyway, that's about it on that. I'm trying to think anything else to mention on it. Started digging out my little supports there for the possible future 2-post lift. But anyway, like I said, I'm like, my goodness, here we go. I already got a little foundation issue. Again, not that bad of a crack, but it's only been here a couple weeks, and maybe the seal plate catches it, never has a problem. Maybe it doesn't. I'd rather not find out. I'd rather just go ahead and put these in here now and really give it a lot of support.